Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new painting tutorial, and this time this was a request from a viewer, so he knows that or he asked me if I have the how it's called this, the Palisade, it's called the Prismatic Palisade, and he asked me if I can do a tutorial on that. So I will do a tutorial on that. It's going to be a fast paint job. I will not go in detail, but what I will do is I will try to give the earth looking and do the bones and then do the crystals as well. So the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the crystals from here, and I'm going to paint first the terrain. And to paint first the terrain, the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply first Rhinox Hide as a base color. So we take Rhinox Hide, we take a big brush, and we are going to apply this all over this terrain. So I will do that, not too much mystery, just thin down the paint to be able that is flowing fast, even if you go a little bit into the try to go a little bit into this crevasse, into the crack, so to avoid that we see the white later on. So we do that. We don't need to do the frame we are going to clean up later on when as the last step, but we need to have a nice layer. So I do that and I come back once this is done. So once the base coat we have applied have dry, we are going to proceed to do several dry brushes to bring the color up here and to bring up the detail. We also have some skeletons, some skulls that we are going to do later. So first I'm going to apply Skrag brown, okay, and we are going to apply this as a dry brush. I take a big brush. This really at the end is a makeup brush that I already used it quite several times. We take it, that's on my skin. We can go quite heavy at the first time. Okay, so we test. We don't apply almost pressure. I'm just letting it flow to check how much paint we are transferring, and then we can start applying pressure. Each time you do the dry brush, start with the very little pressure and increase the pressure over time. Okay, so you have better control on how much paint you are transferring from the brush to the surface that you want to dry brush. Okay, so we are going to do that, and as you can see, all the different texture is popping up. Okay, we'll take a little bit more of paint. Again, we dry. Of course, the blue will not be visible because the prisms are going there. You can go heavier in some areas than the others. What I realize is that in some cases I still see some of the white. Okay, once I'm in that stage, I will take. Let me clean this brush. Okay, and I will take a smaller brush. You don't need to be a nice brush, but a smaller one. Okay, we're going to take the Rhinox Hide, so I'm still using the old name. Okay, and we are going to touch all these parts like this, where the primer is visible. On the base there we see the plastic, but this isn't a problem. This is going to be covered, so I'm not too bothered on that. Okay, sorry for the phone. Okay, there are a lot of schools in that plan. Okay, you have to do this by brushing before doing the schools, because if not you will ruin the work on the schools. So let's do a second dry brush, second layer. Okay, we go with even lighter color. Normally I like to use the Light Ochre. This was too much. Okay, let me see without pressure first. Like this. I think now it's much better. It's done. Okay. Now we do the schools, and I do the schools in a very fast way, okay? First we are going to apply a Screaming School on all the schools. Okay, this one. You can use Basbati Bone is the color that you have, or you can even use Flake 1 Flesh. Any of these ivory colors can use. The Flake 1 Flesh is more warm, it's darker, but will work as well. I did it sometimes. And we are going to paint the schools. The only thing I will try to keep, okay, the eyes and the nose holes dark, okay. Something like that. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world, but try to do it like that, because it will help you in the next step. Okay? So you do the rest, and I'm back once this is done. Next, I'm going to use Rakhart Flesh to pinpoint some of the rocks that we have here. I'm not going to use really dry brush, but I'm going to use quite a bad brush. Okay. And the point is just to take some of these rocks. To give some more variety to the base and to make it look so monochrome. You don't need to touch all of them, just some random of them. Okay? Just some. Something like that. Okay? This will give a little bit more of variety to the paint job. Okay, next I'm going to use Seraphin Sepia, the wash, okay, or the shade, I have to say, and we are going to apply this on the schools. This is why I say that keep the eyes dark, because the Seraphin Sepia is not very dark. If you have paint by mistake inside of the... Oh, this was not dry yet, this is a mistake. Of course you have to wait that this is completely dry before applying a wash. Because that's by mistake I touch. When I remove some of the... no, it's good. I touch the Rakhart Flesh. Okay, here we have, and we apply a little bit on the rocks as well. The rocks are too visible like that. We are going to apply, and don't worry, once it's dry, this will be invisible. Okay, and we have this part done, so now we are ready to jump into the prismas. Okay, so here we have the prismas, and the thing I will do to make, because I want to play with glazes, I will put first gloss varnish to make it more slippery, okay, and to help the washes and so on to flow. So we are going to take quite a big brush. It is working. Have my big brush is a little bit damaged. Okay, and I'm going to apply gloss varnish as a base. Okay, so we do that, and we wait until this dries. This will help the next coats to sleep. As you can see, I'm applying this directly over the white prime. If you have prime with glossy white, it will also work, okay? But as I use my regular, the point is, especially the Citadel prime is quite rough and it's not that slippery, so it will not help on making it slip or flow. So this is why I prefer to apply first this gloss varnish to make it more slippery for the paint and to help when we are going to do now the glazes. Okay, so I apply that, and I wait until this dry before coming back. So once we have the varnish completely dry, you see that looks like that, it's glossy. This is good, and also we see some of the blue plastic through the white. This, I will not be too concerned about this. I'm going to, as I say, I want to do white crystal and blue crystals, so this is not a bad thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply Nihilakh Oxide. Okay, this will give like I will call it marine color or something like that, and because it's like a wash, it will okay, you can add a little bit more water and normally it will flow down. Okay, so we are going to apply this on all the crystals, and what we are going to do is we are going to be glazing the crystals with different colors to achieve the final tonality that we want at the end. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and as you can see, this one is just tinting. I'm really watering down sometimes the Nihilakh Oxide. Okay, and if it's pulling on the bottom, I will not be too... We can solve this later on, but this is really water, so it will be very transparent once it's dry. Okay, and I start with a very soft color, and we are going to go higher and higher in terms of tonality. You can put more on some crystals than others. Not all have to be at the same exactly tonality, I think it's good if you don't have exactly the same amount of blue on all the crystals, so don't worry if it's not uniform. So what we want to do here is really to play with shades and shades of blue. We are going to use some greens, we are going to use some purples as well, and maybe some what you call this, pinks. Okay, so I'm going that, as you can see, I will do that, and I will show you once this have dried. So this is how it's looking like now that we have applied the Nihilakh Oxide and have dry. Okay, and next we are going to apply another glaze, but like using the wash technique as we used before, we are going to apply Guilliman blue. Okay, this is much darker blue, and we are going to apply as well here. Okay, so this will give a darker blue, and we light it again, slip it with the varnish and the soft surface. It will really start going down. This is at the end what we want. We want the bottom to be much darker and leaving the top a little bit lighter. Okay, so we can go from top to down, and you see that we are going to clean up later on. Okay, around there, but you see how this is working. Okay, let it flow down, and if this is pulling a little bit, you can remove some of the excess, but it's not that bad that is pulling a little bit. Okay, and we see that we have a very nice, you can put some water if we see that is too, we are covering too much. Okay, but you will see that the colors are mixing. We are going to have some areas greener and some areas more blue. Okay, blue, I have to say, I don't know. So here we go. Okay, so I will keep doing that, and I will put the camera back once this has dried. Okay, this is how it's looking like now, and the next step we are going to do is going to be a little bit more time consuming, but I think will give quite a nice depth. We are going to use purple in that case. Okay, but we are not going to apply purple everywhere as we have done on the other paints. So what we are going to do is we are going to look for some recesses, and we are going to apply purple in that ones. Okay, so for example here we can go softer in ones. You can use a bad brush, you don't need really a good brush to do that. Try just to be careful to go to the point where you want to do the shade. For example here that is quite depth, you can do the full crystal. Okay, and the intention here is to randomize a little bit the shades, trying to be trying to keep the purple on more on the deepest part on the hidden crystals. Okay, so we do something like that. Okay, you see the difference from one side and the other, so it's much rich, and will give this sensation of depth, will increase the sensation of depth of the crystals. For example, here we can put, we don't need to do this one, for example. Okay, we can go there. So not all of them are needed, just do some of them. So I will do the rest and I show you once it's done. So after the purple is applied, this has to look something like that. And now we are going to clean up and make some highlights, because this is, we need to emphasize the edges of the prismas, right? So we are going to take, for that we are going to use white and Baharroth Blue. Okay, so we start with Baharroth Blue. First, for example, here, let's start with this crystal here. We apply Baharroth Blue. Okay, and then we go with white. And we apply white a little bit. Okay. So we do the crystals like that. For example, this one here. We go with Baharroth Blue and a little bit of white. Okay, and this is what is going to be the most time consuming. Okay, we try to limit the white. If the white is too evident, we go with Baharroth Blue. We go next to the white and we try to make it smaller as well. The top of the crystals, we try to make some faces with a very, so for example this one here, I'm going to try to do this line down. Okay, and then with Baharroth Blue. And this is going to be most likely the most time, the more time consuming. But if you want to have, I think if you want to have a nice finishing, you can stop on the previous step and just do, I will recommend always finish with a gloss varnish, but I think this will give you this extra highlights that are going to be needed. This one, for example, here, that is quite dark. We only do the Baharroth Blue. Then we can use, in that case, a little bit of purple. Okay, the ones that are this one because have a lot of purple on it. We use Genestealer Purple. Okay, and all this is quite going almost edge by edge and highlighting. So a lot of work here. But this is the pain of doing this type of crystal things. Okay. If you really want them to look like a little bit of crystal, you need a lot of them. Okay. So I will keep doing that. You can see I'm keep doing that. On all of them. Okay, for example, this one I'm going to take a little bit of purple. And on the other side I'm going to use a little bit of white. Okay. We are going to go up with the white. And then there. Like that. Okay. Blue. And white. Okay, so I will do the rest and I show you what. So, and this is how it looks like after doing all the highlights. Okay, I hope you can see in camera. I think now have nice facets, it's looking quite interesting. We need to clean up a little bit here. So I'm going to take Rhinox Hide. Okay, and just very careful clean up where the blue went out of place, right? And more likely you will be hard time now to remove this from the base now, because all the paint will help to keep the part attached to the base. Okay, so we clean up, and I'm using Rhinox Hide because as you can see we have to go to the ones that are really visible. If it's just next to the crystal, it's not that important. Okay, the other side is much cleaner, just in case there is something, but I think the other side is much cleaner. Just here. That's all. So last step, to give this feeling of glossiness, we are going to apply again the hard coat varnish. Okay, we are going to do this all over the crystals again. Again, try to make it as smooth as possible. We'll use, let me see, I will use this brush. Okay, we are going to try to be as smooth as possible, as even as possible, and try not to lose any spot. You will see if you miss a spot, will look matte. So you will need to come back and retouch. Okay, so I will do that. I will let it dry and I will show you the final look of this piece. Once the gloss varnish has dry and all is on, this is how it looks like. Okay, so you see you have the glossiness, the other side, you have quite nice depth on the crystals, and I think it will look good. It's a little bit of work, but I think it's a nice way to do this endless spell. So that's all what I want to share in this weekly tutorial. This time, instead of doing a technique, I wanted to paint a miniature, as a viewer was asking me if I can help on doing that. I hope the person liked what I did here and how it's looking like. And please leave in the comments below, let me know what do you think. Comments, likes if you have liked it. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye!